Welcome to your mat, everyone. Today's practice is going to focus more on balance. So that's something I'm always challenged by, either in my everyday life, trying to keep all my spinning plates spinning at the same time, or just working my balance on the yoga mat. So it's been a really kind of long, icy winter, and there's been a lot of patches of ice on my walks in the morning. So I always want to make sure, just in case I don't see the ice and I accidentally step on it, that I can catch myself in a balance practice. So let's do a 10-minute balance practice, and I'm going to get Alexa to help me. So what you'll need for your practice is, I always like to have a strap. So I just have a regular everyday yoga strap. I also have a stretchy, bendy kind of workout strap, 2 blocks. You never know when you're going to need a blanket, so I always have a blanket handy. So let's do a 10-minute balance practice. Oh, Alexa, can you set a timer for 10 minutes? Maybe she doesn't want to. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes. Did you turn Alexa off?
10 minutes, starting now.
Okay, there she is. I was like, did I turn Alexa off? Alexa is 10 minutes starting now. So let's start in the center of our mat. Lift and spread our toes. So often balance is about creating focus, right? So if you're more focused in your life, you're better able to balance all the things that are going on. The same is true in your yoga practice or in your movement practice. So let's start by creating a really solid base. Our feet are about 2 fists width apart. We're going to take our focus on the floor in front of us. So if you're kind of a beginner or a novice in your balance poses, finding a spot on the floor is the best place to start. And then as you get better at balance, you can lift your focal point higher and higher. So let's take that spot on the floor. Let's root down through our right foot, bring our hands to our waist, and just lift the left knee up and tap the toe. We're just working with moving balance. The reason I like to do moving balance is that when I'm falling down, I'm actually in motion. So I want to be able to feel okay to fall down in motion. So now I'm going to extend my leg out and bring it in. So pushing down through that right heel, really making sure that I'm focused on my focal point, then I can start to take the leg out to the side plane or the sagittal plane. So start to lift and lower, push down through the outer hip. And now, as you can tell, my balance is pretty solid. It's because I'm standing next to a wall and that I actually practice balance all the time. 2 more out to the side, and 1, and plant your feet and shake it out. So your supporting leg probably is feeling fatigued, so it feels a little tired or like it's getting a workout. That's completely normal. If you're kind of wiggling and falling all over the place while you're doing this, then you're doing it correctly, because what we're doing is working on increasing our stability, and we have to start somewhere. So for those of us who are really struggling with balance, we're working so much harder than those of us who've already gotten balance kind of figured out, and it's up to us to take it to the next level. So for me, that would be lifting my drishti. So I'm going to bring my drishti to you when I do the second side. If you are struggling here, stay with it. You're doing great, because balance is really about practice and focus. And the only way to get better at balance is to practice. So now I'm lifting my drishti point so I'm on par with you. Coming up onto my right toes, rooting down strongly through my left leg, and making sure I'm not letting my hip pop. I really want to be solid in the stabilizing leg, and I also want to have a little bit of softness in that knee. Finding that focal point, let's just bring our hands to our waist and lift up and down. Now, if you find bringing your arms out to the side gives you more balance, by all means. I just like the idea of having my hands on my hips so that they don't get in the way. And whenever I lose my balance, I just solidify my toe onto the floor. So now let's kick out and up, just playing with balance. Good. Really push down through the outer left heel. That's my trick in staying kind of focused in through my feet. And I'm losing my balance here. So keeping in mind that it's always easier on one side, and it's usually easier on the side that you're dominant. So I'm right hand dominant, so my right side seems to be a little bit easier. So now I'm taking my leg out to the side and bring it back in, side, bring it back in, side. And you'll see I'm leaning a little bit just to kind of counterbalance. That's okay, because we're learning how to play with balance. And maybe even touch the floor if I need to. 1 more. Good. And release. So now I found it so much more challenging to bring my gaze a little bit higher. So I'm going to try to stay here and really focus on playing with challenging my balance. Next balance pose we can do, you can come closer to a wall, you can grab a chair if you like, is what we call standing pigeon or figure 4 pose. So let's root down through the right leg, cross the left leg over top, and come to a figure 4. Good. Now you can stay here if you're feeling wobbly or you just want to enjoy the balance. If you need a little bit more movement, you can lower down and up just to challenge the balance. Challenging my balance. So I'm just seeing how far I can get without falling out. And again, the challenge for me is lifting my dristi, as you can see. So if I bring it to the floor, I feel a little bit more stable, but when I lift it, I have to really focus. Let's do one more. Pause. Good. Now let's see if we can take our leg out to the side. Good. Step your feet together. Let's do the other side. Shake it out. Remember, fatigue is normal, so it's normal for your leg to start to feel tired. Find that focal point wherever you want to set it. And then root down through that, oh, we have to do the other side. Yeah, root down through that left leg and cross the right leg over. Good. So take a moment. Right here is great. So if you're really working on your balance here, this is as far as you need to go. If you want to challenge the balance a little bit, you can squat down and up. And this is a really nice hip opener. You'll see I'm really struggling with my balance here a bit. But that's what I want, right? I want to be able to catch myself when I fall. So when I'm out in the world and I slip on a patch of ice, I'm not afraid to fall down. Or I might be able to catch myself. I'm not afraid of it. Good. 2 more. Last one. Hold. And then let's see if we can play a little bit. Take your leg out to the side. See what happens. If you fall out, you fall out. It's not a big deal. You see I'm counterbalancing by kind of leaning, stepping our feet together. Nice job. Now let's come up, feet about a little bit wider. Let's work on coming up on our toes. So, keeping that focal point, hands on the waist, lift up on your toes and see what happens. So the great thing about doing balances like this is we're working on the bones, tendons, and ligaments in our feet that perhaps don't get much play because we're always wearing our shoes, right? So our shoes really stabilize all those bones in our feet. And we want to make sure that we keep that flexibility in our feet, which is why it's great to come to your mat barefoot. And it's also great to walk around barefoot whenever you can. And then notice what you can do. Come up on your toes, maybe reach your arms out in front, maybe bring your arms out to the side, and just work on seeing if you can stay up. If your heels have to come down, no big deal. You can come back to this as you like. If you're close to a wall, that would really help if you could just reach out and stabilize yourself at the wall. But I always like to practice balance in a corner. And in that way, I have 2 walls. So I can either have a wall in front and a wall to the side. Let's do 2 more. Just finding our breath. 1 more. Good. Reach all the way up, step on your tippy toes, see what happens, and then roll your heels down. Go ahead and shake it out. I don't know about you, but I'm a little winded, but these things are good. So I'm challenging my cardiovascular system, I'm challenging my proprioception, which is where I am in space and time, and I'm challenging my balance so that I can catch myself. A lot of this also is really handy for working the core. All right, so let's try another balance pose. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see this one. And I'm going to set my focal point, dristi point we call it in yoga, straight ahead on the floor. Then I'm going to bring my hands to my waist, lean forward, root down through the right foot, and just lift the left leg out in front of me. And I find this one super challenging. You can bring your arms out, see, out into T, try your balance, and then inhale, come up, kick your toe out in front, and try the other side. So set your gaze, root down through your left foot, lift the right toes, bend the knee, bring the heel behind you, and then start to lean. Good. See what happens. And if you fall out, you fall out. You just come back. Sometimes arms out wide next to you, or is a really nice counterbalance. Ooh, and then toe out through center. And release. Let's do the first side again. So in yoga, this pose is Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3, and it comes in all kinds of arm variations. So you can play with all kinds of arm variations. I'd like to bend my supporting leg to lower my center of gravity, which actually helps with my balance. Go ahead and come into your left leg, find that drishti point, catch your breath. And then when you're ready, play with balance. See what happens. And it's really okay to come to the floor if you want. So sometimes I just do a standing split and balance this way by grabbing the blocks. But just play, right? See what happens. Do the second side. Bend the knee, kick the toes back behind you. If you fall out, you fall out. You bring the blocks to the floor in front of you if you like. Just play. Permission to just explore what your body can do. Good. Let's do a little asana here. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, bend at the knees, lift with the sitting bones, lean forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. And that's our 10 minutes. Exhale, hands through heart center. Alexa, stop there we go. Alexa, stop is all I need. So that plays with your balance a little bit. So it gives you a feeling of where you are in space and time. And I like this idea of continuing to challenge our proprioception. So again, how far we can step out into the world, how much space we can take up, and how we can catch ourselves if we're falling out of balance. So I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. If you're with me here on YouTube, I would love it if you would subscribe, like, comment, share, and really the reminder button. See that little bell in the corner? Go ahead and give that a click so you can be the first to know when I upload new videos. My goal is to upload a new one every single week. Thanks for being here.